Welcome to Leashed Dad's podcast. That is Justin.
Nope, it's Ron Weasley.
That is right. It's Rupert Grint. I believe that's how you say
Bloody hell. He can't even get my name
Ladies and gentlemen,
right.
our guest tonight is none other than Rupert Grint.
False advertising.
Straight out of England.
This is false advertising. It's not true. We did never reach out to Rupert Grint. Apparently, I'm just a lookalike. I'm his doppelganger. So, welcome. I am JJ Doppelganger Rupert Grint. Bloody hell.
Yep, we are two leash dads. I don't know if Rupert is a dad, but we are two leash dads that get together to discuss our everyday lives while chained to our parental responsibilities. And sometimes, gosh darn it all, we might be a little harsh on our kids.
Nope.
But before we get into that, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Hey, by the way, he does have a child.
Do not know that.
Child. I'm doing well. I'm actually doing well. Kind of, apparently starting to look like Rupert Grint a little bit. Back when he was probably in the fourth Harry Potter movie or a little earlier. If you look at a picture of him now, not so much. But off that topic, there's been some big news. I will do something in 2 weeks.
Switch jobs?
I will no longer be working from home.
Wow, you got the dental assistant.
I will be a dental assistant here. Starting
cheering sound effects.
October 16th is my start date, which is going to be great. Kind of. It's a love-hate relationship, but yes, dental assistant. Thank you. I know it's a big thing. October 16th is when I start. My last day with my current company is October 2nd. There's a thing behind that. Not going to go into details there. Doesn't really matter. But so my mental has kind of taken a shift for the good. I think I finally found something. I don't know yet because it's a big career change still. But I will be going into the ortho world, so I will be putting my hands in people's mouths more frequently than you would think. I will be tightening your braces. My hands can be in your mouth anytime as long as I'm near you.
Anyway.
Anywho. My mental, I think, will be good because it's a career change, going to do something, finally getting out of the house. So I think maybe that's part of the mental as well, as rather than being bogged down in the house the entire time. Who knows? I will let you know. I will keep you updated as this will go. This is not stopping. My schedule is changing a little bit, though, which is going to be really cool, yet really weird. How it was explained to me is majority of my week is Monday through Thursday, and then a half day on Friday or Saturday, depending on the month. At least that's how my lead assistant or my lead had told me when I interviewed with her. She's like, yeah, depending on the month, it might be, for example, since it's still September, they would work Fridays. Come October, they would switch to Saturdays. So it's either Friday or Saturday that we work like 7 to noon. So I'm going in at 7 o'clock in the morning for most of my shifts. Getting done at 4:30 or 5:30, Monday through Thursday. So it'll be a different. It'll be a change of pace for sure. Redoing or going through and changing some habits or routines, per se, with my children as well, and my wife. I did celebrate my birthday this past Sunday. Sadly, I'm another year older, guys.
Oh, I freaking missed it. What the hell?
You're a dick. Your wife didn't.
Well, she didn't remind me either.
Facebook reminds everybody.
Sorry, man. Happy birthday.
That's all good. Don't worry. It's all good. Trust me. It's not a big deal. It's just another year older. I stopped caring after 16 or 18 or 21. 21 is when I truly stopped caring because, well, yeah, that's when you're legal in the States.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's pretty good. Kids are doing all right. So, not much there right now. I'm dealing with a sick child.
Me too.
Yeah, well, I think he partied a little too much over the weekend. He went
Oh, he
doing,
did.
well, no, not really. He went camping. Went It was a Halloween thing that they had going on for their camp, or like a little campground. Um, and then Sunday he'd come back home. Our daughter was sick. I think she had like a little flu bug or whatever, and he was kind of all up in her, kissing her, blah 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 blah. Right? Being affectionate. Maybe possibly it had spread to him, so now he's kind of feeling it quite a bit. So
Hmm.
that's that. Shocking though, because how long he was exposed versus our other sons who were exposed to our daughter more. But it is what it is. So yeah, that's that. Otherwise, this week has been pretty good, pretty chill so far. What about you? Tell me about your week, because I'm sure it wasn't
It's
like last
been
week.
go nonstop. With still on the house project for my aunt. We're still doing that. It's wrapping up this week, so I'm gonna have a little bit more freedom come Sunday night because we're gonna be in. How did it say it? It's on the western side of the state. Oh yeah.
Yay, more free time.
So we're having a little family reunion for my wife's family. Looking forward to that. But unfortunately, we have our youngest who is sick now, fever, coughing, sniffles, can't sleep because she's so hot. So if she ends up still being sick, I'm probably gonna have to stay home and take care of her because we can't bring a sick child to a family reunion. There's a bunch of kids there, so including infants.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be
It's even
respectful
worse.
with that, and being away at a B&B with a sick kid is not going to be any fun. So
You laugh.
I'm not laughing. I mean, the situation's kind of fun. I mean, I am laughing, but it's I'm making light of the situation because
Yeah.
it would suck.
Nope, I get it.
So
I would laugh too. I mean, it's one of those things that just imagine how many other people will probably bring their child who might have some sort of sickness.
oh, I know it's happened before, but yeah. Other than that, the coaching thing, the class kind of turned a little weird
Oh,
towards Sunday. I don't want to get into it. I didn't really say what it was prior, but disclaimer, folks, if you see something free that seems too good to be true, keep your guard up because nothing in this world is ever truly free without a sales pitch, advertising, or trying to get you into something. You could
basically,
even refer timeshares, or there's like the same thing.
basically
So,
nothing is free, even if it
nope.
is free.
Even if they swear up and down and have page after page of emails of saying all the cool free stuff you're gonna get and gonna be able to do, no. So,
Hmm.
but mentally, the coaching, the way they got you into the mindset of starting your own business was very helpful. I mean, there was at least a couple thousand people on this phone call, on this Zoom call, all with the same mentality, all with the same vibe, and it was just ramped up. You
And
could
all
feel
fell
it.
for the free.
Some people, yeah, some people did. Other people obviously have a little bit more dough, a little more cake in their pants, but and they ended up signing up for like the couple $1,000 course. But for those of us who don't have all that cake in our bank, we actually started a side group, and we are coming together and supporting each other on our growing businesses as a little bit smaller of a collective. Maybe I think there's like 15 or 12 of us now. So that's really taking off, and I have really enjoyed spending time talking with people who are the exact same mind as me, and that could be dangerous. But for a long time, I mean, Justin is like one of the only people who I can ever talk to about stuff like this. I mean, shit, in college we used to stay up till ungodly hours of the morning just
Mm-hmm.
talking.
Yep. That's the
So
truth.
yep. So it's good to have relationships like that again in my life. So moving forward, I
So I'm
this isn't a
alone now.
plug, but it is. I started my own YouTube channel. It is Unlocking Jarred Potential, and JJ is gone. There, he's back now, and he's recording. Cool. So it's Unlocking Jarred Potential. It's going to be my kind of launching pad for getting into helping people with their negative emotions, negative energies, overall minor depression. I can't do anything clinically depressive, with helping clinically depressed people.
He's not registered.
I mainly focus on things that you can control yourself. State of mind, emotions when you wake up in the morning, taking your mind out of the present or future and out of the past and the future and into the present moment, and then realizing that you are in charge of your own destiny. And my friend just realized that a couple weeks ago, and now has a new career. This guy right here.
Yeah, you're
Man,
talking
I'm
about
so excited for you.
me.
I am so excited for you. This is going to be huge.
I think it is going to be huge too, and I feel quiet. Hold on. Technical difficulties. I'm sorry, Jared. Keep talking while I fix myself.
Okay, so that's coming up again. If you want to check it out, I don't have much content up now because of how unbelievably busy I've been. But more to come on that. So stay tuned. I will still be doing this with Justin, obviously. So it'll just be another side project to maybe launch a coaching business in the future if anybody's interested in learning more about how to live your best life, full of positive energy, love, joy, and just overall a beautiful life instead of one where it might be a little bit more negative and focused on some stuff that's out of your control.
Son of a bitch, it did it again. Anyways, sorry. It's okay. I will figure it out. Like I
Okay.
am now.
Okay.
So, let's get down into the meats. I mean, okay, we've got some proud moments to share, I guess. I think my proud moment, honestly, right now, I had it as one thing, but I'm changing it.
Okay.
And then now I lost it. So damn it, I should follow the script. My youngest son is still enjoying school. Goddamn. But now that's what I really wanted to say. Yeah, I got nothing. That's it. My youngest son is enjoying school again, or still enjoying school, I should say. So, what about you? I'm not using my mic anymore because I've got to go through here.
Well, I'm a proud daddy this week, probably for the same reason that Justin is, that Eleanor is still really enjoying school. As far as another more specific moment, I really kind of don't have anything. Things have been kind of crazy around the house. They have been acting up a lot, just really super chaotic. I mean, if I had to pick anything out of the last couple of days, weeks that I was impressed with, when moving stuff out of my aunt's house, Eleanor helped us out with just taking rain and taking boxes that she could lift. And she even lifted something that I couldn't even believe. It was so heavy. It was insane. But I was so proud of her in that moment, just that she tried and she followed through with it. She carried it from the garage to the van. Not lickety split, but she was definitely she was definitely going at her comfortable rate there of speed without dropping it on her toes. So
I like it. I like it a lot. That's actually pretty cool. That's a good thing. Oh, Nico has been very helpful too. Like when things come in, like packages wise, he will actually go grab them. That's bright. God damn it, that's really bright. Okay, I fixed that now. But yeah, no, he really enjoys helping grab packages. He helps with son of a bitch. What else does he help with?
A whole new side of you. I like it.
I know. Nobody wants to see that shit. Everybody saw it. I'm sorry. Oh god, look at that. Like, I need to shower. Holy crap. Although I showered already, so.
For those
That's
of
how
you
hot
not
it is.
watching the video, he has lost his microphone capabilities and he can't change it while
I haven't
recording.
lost my microphone. It's just, well, apparently I disconnected my actual mic, and now I have to use my webcam mic, which is annoying.
Yeah,
So
but we're getting a close up of his face and tonsils. So if you guys want to check it out, and you're
actually don't
listening,
check it out.
go to
please.
YouTube.
Go to YouTube, or yeah, that's basically where you're gonna find it. So watch it. It's a very entertaining episode this week. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're watching it, for sure.
Well, let's see. What can we see? Any blackheads? Whiteheads?
No, it can't. I don't.
You don't want to see that.
No.
All right. So that's the good stuff. You know, we're very proud of our children still. Kind of. As of right now, it's very difficult. I've got something going on upstairs, but I will figure it out later. Let's see here. As Jared mentioned, we're talking about being a little too strict, a little too hard, in Jared's terms, in bed. No, not being too hard in bed, but being too strict or too hard or too harsh on your children. I think this is a very good topic right now, because there are times where I go, holy shit, when have I been? I feel like I've just been too hard on my child. But yeah, so I wanted to kind of talk about that. Hopefully, Jared's got some good things to talk about as well here. But I want to open this up, guys. It's going to be, please share your questions or your thoughts. And the way to do that as well is leave a comment in YouTube or on the YouTube channel, Leash Dads, after with this video. Or if you are on a Spotify, you can certainly do it there. So go to, listen to it on Spotify, and you can put your questions or your comments or whatever. There will also be a poll. Basically, have you been too hard on your children? It's probably going to be the question or the poll. So you will have basically till like the end of the year to answer that. But I want to know, have you ever felt that you were too strict on your child or children? Kind of tell me. So maybe this might be like another story type of night. In an aspect of that. Jared, you take it away. I will be right back.
Sounds good. So as far as being a little too strict on the old kids, it all comes back to a few episodes ago, maybe about a couple months ago, actually, where we had discussed briefly about, or maybe I did, that we don't want to raise our kids the way our parents did. I like that. However, there are certain things that I feel worked for me as a kid at that time that maybe didn't really end up working out that great in the end. Like, as of now, like, I still remember what set my parents off and what, oh, we got a little baby.
Say hi.
Oh,
Oh,
she's
okay.
sad.
Yeah.
The cute pajamas.
Yeah. It's like a onesie romper, but I interrupted your story. Keep going.
No, so in there are situations where I don't want my kids to ever fear me, and I also don't want them to ever be scared to talk to me about something or admit that they did something wrong. I really don't want that to happen, where that is the case with my parents now and then. So as far as being too strict, I see certain things, especially with maybe screen time, being too strict on screen time. I don't give a crap what other parents are doing, giving their fourth grader or third grader a stupid cell phone. I really do not agree with that. Even if you have control over it for majority of the day and they only have an hour or two, I yes, I'm an old school kind of thinker in that way, but again, you have to realize how much manipulation is going on through a lot of the screen time, a lot of the screens that they're interacting with. Games are a little bit more of a, it depends on what they're playing. They could be playing like a math game or a critical thinking game, which is great. But again, you want to limit that time so they have time to think outside the box, to entertain themselves, to really get in their own mind and start to think instead of just being sucked into this game when they really should be maybe playing with something other than what's on the screen. I remember, I think we all did this back in the 90s, us kids who played with uh, action figures. They're not
Yeah, I
dolls,
love
they were
action figures.
action figures.
Action figures.
Shit, I used to create full out movies with my
Yeah,
action
okay.
figures. Like, no shit. I used to create storylines, movies. I did it all. 9 times out of 10, they were just Power Ranger episodes, but still, I was creating something. I was creating something. I wasn't, and my parents were super strict where I didn't even have a gaming system until I was 11 or 10, and it was a PlayStation 1. So at that time, I think 2 or 3 was out, but my parents had gotten this hand me down PS1 from one of their buddies for like $50. So, and I was limited to an hour a day on that. So, again, the main reason why I want to limit my kids' screen time is so they have free time to use their imagination and critical think and be creative. What do you think about screen time? I know you bought your kid a cell phone and and all that other stuff. So do you limit their screen time? Does that bother you that he has that cell phone?
Does it bother me? I guess I'm still kind of not fully for it because of his age, and I don't think they need it. But it's kind of him keeping up with his friends now too, I guess, at that point. As far as screen time, I'll be honest, we're not really strict on that, which is a bad thing. But recently it has been where we actually do get, like, we'll have one of our neighbors come over and ask us if, like, he'll ask us if Arlo and Nico want to play. And basically, Nico's all for playing. Nico wants to play with friends. But Arlo's kind of a hit and miss. And I say that because he actually will be like, nope, and he'll just want to stick on his Switch. I step in and be like, no, you're going to come outside and play. You need to get outside and play. I don't care if you've been playing at school. You need to come out and play now. So, getting too attached to screens is a bad thing. When it's like your only, or you consider it your only option or source of entertainment, it's not true. And I know there are people that are definitely, I won't say strict, but everybody's parenting is different. As for example, you said you had like an hour of time each day, right, on the PlayStation. I had a friend's house that was the same way. Once you play, and it doesn't matter who was playing at the time, the hour's up, you're done. It's time to go outside and play. My parents never really had that either. I don't really hold that. But we do try to make sure the kids are doing something else besides being on electronics or behind the screen every single day for so long, because it is the brainwashing tool. Honestly, I think it's still a brainwashing tool. But as far as being strict or harsh on people, I'm looking more at like the idea of, all right, your child did something and you may have scolded them,
Oh, the
right?
punishment being too strict. Okay.
Well, I mean, it could be anything, right? It's up for interpretation. This is kind of an idea that I had gotten from one of my friends, neighbors. He's like, have you ever been too strict? Or because he felt that he was a little strict on his son one day. And I'm like, I get it though. I mean, his son had admitted that he did it, and it wasn't on purpose. It was an accident, um, where something had happened, but it was like, all right, time to go in. We're done now. So kind of took his playtime away. But it's okay. He realized maybe it was something a little too harsh. And then it got me thinking too. It's like, okay, has there been a time where I was a little too harsh on punishment with my children? And then am I still being too harsh sometimes? So from a punishment aspect, if you realize you are yelling and then you sit down after you've given them their punishment and you go, was I too harsh? I'm going to say yes, you were probably a little too harsh, because I do the same thing. I'll sit here and go, did I really need to do that for something so tiny? Something that I view as maybe, oh, it wasn't really that big of a deal, or like that big of something that should be punished in such a way. So, for example, maybe it's me overreacting, which is a strong possibility. And that's why I come out and say, maybe I was a little too harsh on some of the punishment. Or when I reflect on it and go, yep, that was a little too harsh. I'm still working on trying to figure out a way to solve that for myself so I'm not so harsh. Because I get that. I mean, I hate when I see my children kind of get whiny for doing something, which means they know that they did something wrong and I'm scolding them for it, or their mom is scolding them for it. But when it's a continuous thing, you're okay, sweetheart. You're okay. When it's a continuous kind of whiny for every time you scold them, it's like, this should not be the reaction every single time I'm talking to them and trying to reprimand them. So maybe I'm being way too harsh all the time.
Yeah.
I do need to step it back. But other things about being strict, I think my wife and I need to be a little more strict on like screen time. We do have a thing where we want to make sure that they are doing their homework or whatever they have to do from school before they really are able to do anything, or knowing that they are going to do it eventually here, rather than be like, okay, I'm just going to put it off till the next day. No, you're not getting away with that. You're really not going to get away with that here. If you do, you're going to lose something. Like for Kane, example, I would take his phone away in a heartbeat if he starts falling behind on school or whatever he's doing. Because I guarantee that's kind of his source of escape or whatever. I'm not saying he pulls it out during school day or anything like that. We've already told him, if you do something stupid like that, or you start bragging to your friends about having a phone or whatnot, he's losing it. No doubt in my mind, we've already told him he loses it. But I mean, those are just some other things to think about too. How strict are you going to be with getting things done like homework? Or at one point, I was very strict about making sure that my kids came home and did their homework first before they went and played, or made sure they did their chores before they played. Work before play. They're children, though. We got to keep that in mind, and I think we as parents sometimes forget that. So I'm trying to work on making sure, and Sam's been kind of a help here too, helping me remember that they're children. Let them have some fun. They don't necessarily need to do it right away. So they still have plenty of time to do it. Or when you do come inside, for example, for the night, right, when it gets too dark out, you bring them in. That's when maybe you start having them relax and do their homework. So it's not like it has to be, oh, yep, you're done with school. Now come home and do more homework or do more schoolwork, basically. That's my thought, and that's how we're starting to work it a little bit, making sure they're doing that. What about you? I know school season again is here. Are you strict with school at all for Eleanor?
I don't know how strict I can be in kindergarten kind of thing. She doesn't really have any homework. But when the time does come, and actually, Tonio really didn't have any homework either.
What about
But
reading though? Reading is
yeah,
very
when she
critical
gets
for
a little bit
Eleanor
more
right now, isn't
into
it?
it, we're gonna start reading a little bit more, especially maybe after dinner. But I'm with either Sam. I was it Sam who said that you can play after school, but do homework later.
Yeah, I mean we also get very busy too. Like Kane's in wrestling, Arlo's in tumbling, so
Oh,
they have activities that go on, not necessarily right away after school, but it's kind of in the middle of the evening. Like we're talking 5:30, 6 o'clock is when their activities happen. So they come home. Depending, I mean, Grandma does like to spoil them a little bit, which is never a bad thing. But she'll take them out to eat or whatever, hang out with them for a bit, and then she'll bring them home, and by that time we're turning around and going somewhere else.
yeah.
So that's kind of the big concern there. I wouldn't say it's a concern, but it's like, okay, well, you've done your thing with Grandma. Now it's time to come home and do some other things. That's not so fun.
Yeah, and so if that were the case, I would be leaning more towards your side because if you have other things going on that eat up your time to do your homework, then yeah, you're going to want to do homework when you have time. So, and folks, again, if you're not watching this on YouTube, please try to catch it on YouTube. Turn off the podcast and just look at the YouTube video. JJ's loveliest little daughter is on camera right now, and she's being an absolute sweetheart. So check it out.
Come check it
Even
out.
if
It's
you don't
great.
give a shit about us, look at the beautiful baby.
Look at the baby girl. She's just
Yeah.
cuddling with dad. A little warm, but snuggles. She's gonna be like her mom, I guarantee it. When she gets really hot at night, whatever. So, um, no, I everybody's gonna be different though, or we're all gonna kind of fall into somewhat of a very similar pool, or be on the opposite side of the fence, right? So you're following in kind of with me a little bit, making sure they're getting their stuff done at an appropriate time, basically, um, or wanting to get it done so they don't fall behind on academics. Now, I've talked with somebody, and they share that their nieces are going to be kind of very good in academics, like they're going to be advanced placements, but that's also, and I'm not bashing on them by any means. I think it's really neat. Um, both both parents are in fact in the educational business. One's a Spanish teacher and one's like a director of like the district for like special education. So it's pretty neat. I mean, they've got their curriculum and they do really well with it. So I hope their routines are great. I would say I'm not necessarily around for that, but like I said, each parent is different, so it's holding different standards at that point. Um, and mom and dad were also they're I mean they're the girls' parents, they're the teachers were also very academically challenging. They challenged academics. They were probably top of their class at that point as well. So they're gonna have those standards as well. And I praise them for putting forth the effort there too. Um, but like I said, I mean, they're a little strict. I wouldn't say they're strict in other terms. Like they have limited screen time. 20 minutes a day. Once that's it, that's it. Nothing else. So every parent is going to be different. Not saying there's a right or wrong answer. I just wanted to get an idea of how strict you are with your punishments, or if you've ever felt too strict. Um, and what kind of situation have you ever been in where you felt that way, and whatnot. So, like, I mean, there was a time I think, oh, just the other day. I won't call this very strict. I won't say this is a little harsh or anything. Sam was not very happy with Nico because he smeared shit all over the bathroom. Like he was going to the bathroom and he smeared his shit all over the bathroom. Yeah, Sam walked in and was not very happy about it at all. There were definitely some things said that I don't think needed to be said, but it's the line was definitely crossed for you know something that should not have happened. I think a 4-year-old, yes, I get it. I was trying to be a little reasonable at the same time, like, okay, well, it's a 4-year-old, he's still learning, right? And they're testing boundaries, I guess.
Yeah, could be.
I don't know. I'm still like, okay, well, he's still in the learning stages of potty training. Um, it wasn't necessary for him to do that by all means, but maybe there was flying off the rails at something I probably would have flown off the rails too a little bit. So yeah, but I probably would have had better choice of words. Um, needless to say. So maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. I wasn't necessarily the one in the bathroom cleaning it up and the one who discovered it. Now for Arlo, for example, I think I've flown off the handlebars a few. Where am I going? Flown off the bars a couple times where I shouldn't have with him. Um, and I do end up feeling pretty bad about it. And I do actually I'll lead into this as well. When I realize I'm a little too harsh with him, I will go apologize to him. Like I'll even
It's
apologize
good,
to
yeah.
my other children too about it because I've overreacted for something that to them isn't so, I guess, deep. And to me, I realized that it was just a little thing that I didn't need to overreact on. So, how do you? Again, do you ever go back and then do you go apologize to your children for maybe being too
Oh
harsh?
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I don't want to say I'm perfect at it. I don't want to say that I do it every single time when I fly off the handle because I don't. As my personality begins to shift more towards a calm, understanding demeanor instead of authoritative and kind of the way I don't know how to really describe it, but yelling a lot and not apologizing because I was right, damn it, and they need to learn. I There are times when even when I don't feel the greatest about what just transpired, I will go up and apologize, especially to Eleanor. And I think I've apologized to Antonio a few times. I don't really know if it mattered or not, but I definitely made the attempt so he knows that I'm human as well. And that's what I was trying to allude to earlier with Eleanor and the other and the kids is that I don't want them to fear me. I want them to be able to talk to me like an adult, like a person. I don't want them to be afraid to tell me they did something wrong. I want to show them that I make mistakes too. I'm not perfect. Life is a continuous journey of trying to perfect yourself, or at least that's the way it should be, if I must say so myself.
I agree. I definitely agree with you on that. No parent is perfect. If you think you're a perfect parent, reality check, you're not. Fight me. You're not a perfect parent. Somewhere along the way, you made a mistake.
Yep.
So, what else? Do you got anything else you want to talk about as being like strict or harsh or whatever? Maybe overreacting? Any other stories you want to share, possibly, or that you've heard of?
Well, there are stories in regards to my kids not listening, and the more they ignore me and my wife, we both tend to ramp up and start yelling at like the third or fourth time we tell them to do something or to just go in a different room when, especially when you have two kids and you're trying to take care of one who's either A, sick, or B, having some sort of mental crises that
Mm.
they need to be with mom and dad alone. and you're trying to get the other child out of the room to do something else. And we just, when it starts, you calmly tell them, okay, it's time. Can you please go upstairs? I'm trying to deal with this right now. Or like, we're in the kitchen cooking. Can you please go upstairs? We're making dinner. And when they start to whine and not listen and be Tauruses, honestly, I mean, I have a house full of Tauruses. We're all stubborn as shit. So it's hard as hell. And when that starts to happen, we get just angry. Well, we start yelling, and I do feel bad about that. I try not to swear. I don't know why. It's just a word, but I find it vulgar and somewhat. I have a trigger with that from the way I was brought up, where I'm not saying which parent did it, but I have a trigger where it just was not nice, and they never apologized for it. And I never ever had a relationship with this parent where I could just talk to him about anything. So whatever. So that affects me where I don't want to start cussing at my kids. But on the other hand, maybe I hear my wife do it on occasion, and I get I feel bad for the kid. So,
yeah,
not to throw my wife under the bus.
I don't think you're throwing anybody under the bus at that point. You have what we call a filter. You have more of a filter than your wife. I am the same boat, though. I try not to swear in front of my children. Very much so that I am replacing words. And to me, it's kind of funny when I do it, and then my kids catch on. I'm like, no, you don't need to do that. You do not need to follow daddy. But I think it's also a good thing because they're seeing a habit of, oh, what the fudge? So I know what they're trying to say. They don't, but they know that it's coming from daddy. So something on the lines, right? Whereas Sam, I'm not throwing her under the bus, but she has less of a filter than I do. Where she will have, she will swear. And at this point in time, it's very difficult. And I'm not saying I don't support her, but when she just swears about something random, like we'll have a conversation, then she'll just swear or have like some sort of word in there, some sort of vulgarity. But the hard part is now we have a 4-year-old who is copying words that come out of mouths. And to me, it's one thing, right? I'm not worried about him copying me when I know I'm not saying anything bad. Or when he copies his siblings. It's funny, but his siblings do get a little frustrated. They'll be like, stop copying me. I'm like, but it's his way of learning his language. It's the way of him learning English. And so I find it funny when he copies. And we'll have another one as example A. Exhibit A. Yeah. So she'll be at that point when she starts talking. So I'm a little, we'll see how it all turns out. Will she have a filter like daddy, or will she not? I think there's times to be harsh about that too when you start hearing that language in the house. Crack down on it unless you just don't care. The big problem is you don't want your kids saying it. If they say it in the house, sure, kind of like a closet swear. But all of a sudden you say it at school and now you've got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that right, Allie? You got a problem when you swear.
There are definitely stories and situations. The whining and not listening is my real trigger. And I know that they're kids, and I know that they have their own personal wants and things, but at the end of the day, sometimes we're trying to help them, honestly. Sometimes we're trying to help them not get hurt. Like twirling around in the kitchen, doing 360s and shit. No, there's stuff that could seriously hurt you in the kitchen, and they're not listening. So then you get upset and yell, and then I do feel bad about yelling. But like I said, as I grow and as I progress into this calmer, instead of just automatically going 0 to 100, taking a deep breath and trying to talk to them as much as I can, and like carry them away from the situation, or take them by the hand and just, instead of saying something, just take them by the hand and guide them out of the room, and just
Yep.
let's do this instead of what you're doing now. And if I take the time, if I take the breath to do that, I feel better about the situation, because then I didn't yell. I didn't put fear into them or try to put fear into them. I just gave them something else to do, because what they're doing at that moment is not appropriate.
So
That's what I got to say about it.
You associate yelling with trying to strike or put fear into the heart of children, huh? Or putting fear into somebody. Like you raise your voice, hoping that it's going to strike fear into somebody's mental, essentially. Yeah. I think that's what we all try to do as parents, and we forget that that's not necessarily the best approach. I want my children to respect me, and in turn, hopefully, we respect them because they listen, and when they want something, we can show that by giving them that opportunity. By, respecting their choice, or respecting that they've had the courage to ask us to do something, and we're going to give them that opportunity. So it's like trusting them, but at the same time, we know enough to respect them as well.
Yeah.
I know I was thinking about this as you were talking about your story there, and the one story that I was thinking about that was really harsh, or where I was yelling at one of my children, was the fact that I had my children get ready for bed, or they were supposed to get ready for bed, and Nico decided to jump off his bed. He gave Arlo a black eye.
Oh no.
Yep. And Kane had kind of stepped in and said, you don't jump, basically you're not supposed to be jumping off your bed, or why'd you do that, right? So then I walked in, Arlo's coming out of his room crying because Nico had jumped on him. Granted, I don't think Nico intentionally jumped on Arlo by any means. But it's like, okay, I told Nico, you're going to bed. You're basically done. You're now getting in bed and you're going to bed. And then I took care of Arlo and whatnot. So I don't think it was too harsh at all. It was a punishment well deserved because, one, we teach our kids not to jump off beds. And as a result, he had to go to bed. It was close enough, but he basically lost his other half hour that he had before he had to go to bed.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So it's
I've done the same. I've done the similar thing. Yep.
So punishment meets kind of the scenario that was supposed to happen anyways. But yeah. So no, that's one of my things where I was like yelling, striking a fear, I guess, into the child, knowing that they have done wrong. It's not really to strike fear. It's to get the point across that they shouldn't have been doing this. They should have been listening and doing something else. But it put him into tears because he knew he did wrong. You could tell he was kind of remorseful about it. And the other thing, he wasn't listening. And he didn't like the fact that now he has to do something he doesn't want to do. So, yep. That's what I got.
That's what I got too. I got nothing else.
I don't have it. The only thing I have right now is, let me adjust my camera here a little bit, and I can get some jokes for you. So bear with me.
Okay.
Ha 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 ha. Bear with me. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Kidding.
So again, folks, let us know what your thoughts about being a strict parent are. leashdads14@gmail.com. Let us know if you're on YouTube, like I told you to, looking at this adorable child.
Comment,
subscribe. Let us know.
Hit that alert button so you know when we post videos. We are on TikTok as well. It's under my TikTok at Darth. My handle's at Darth Nomi. It's GNOMIE. There's also Twitter. There is Facebook. We have a Facebook page, Leash Dads, and Spotify as well, and Apple and Google Podcasts as well. So there's definitely many ways to hear us, listen to us. If you want to interact with us, by all means, send us a voicemail through Spotify, or like the Anchor FM or whatever it is. You can certainly do that. You can also interact with us by answering questions or being part of the questions, or participating in those polls as well on the majority of our episodes. I have lacklustered in some of that aspect as well, but definitely make sure you do follow us in any way we can, or any way you want to feel like following us, or again, comment. It helps us that we know that you're listening. So
Yep.
But hey, I got a question for you.
What?
What do you get when you combine a rhetorical question and a joke?
What? Oh, that's that's good. That's good.
No, it's
I
not.
like that.
It's not a crying baby. It's not a crying baby.
Nope. I got it.
All right, good. I'm glad. So did you know there are 3 types of people in the world? Those who can count and those who can't. I'm sorry, but did you hear about the Italian chef who died? He passed away.
Oh boy. Gotta pasta pun.
All right, and here's another classic one for all of you. This is the last one of the night. 2 muffins were sitting in the oven. One turned to the other muffin and said, "Wow, it's pretty hot in here." The other one shouted, "Wow, a talking muffin!" I couldn't even finish the punchline without laughing, because it gets me every time. It gets me every time. All right, fine. I gotta leave it with this one because I messed up. I didn't really mess up the last one. I just started cracking up before I got to the punchline. Did you hear about the guy who invented the knock knock joke?
No.
He won the Nobel Prize.
Oh my god.
Allie, is it funny?
No.
Eleonora,
No.
is it funny? Is it funny,
No,
Eleonora?
it's not.
You're
Eleonora.
supposed to be smiling. Smile and indicate to Jared that it's funny. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Jared, go ahead and close us out tonight. Oh, by the way, my name is Justin, or JJ, doppelganger of Rupert Grint. Bloody hell.
Yeah, so thanks again, guys. Let us know what you think and like about in the comments, and we will see you guys next week. Have a great one, and Justin, Eleonora, thank you, and take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.